So in this recording, I wanted to address a topic that one of you had brought up. I think it was like 2 days ago, and someone asked me on my channel. Well, on this channel, someone asked me. He said, "How long has this been going on?" So this is a tough. This is a very tough topic, because there's no way to really know. Because you got to remember that. It took me a while for me to accept that this was actually a thing that was happening. So what that means is that it could have been happening for longer than I think it was happening, and I simply didn't notice it. Like, certain things would happen and you don't know whether it was a coincidence that it happened or whether the people were after you. So, like, it became aggressive. Maybe about a decade ago, it became like super aggressive. And once it became aggressive, there was no doubt that I was being stalked. So like, before that, there was doubt. So like, if a gang stalker did something, you don't know whether a gang stalker actually did something or whether it was just, a coincidence that it happened. So in order to answer your question more thoroughly, I think that my adult life, pretty much my entire adult life, I was I was a targeted person for pretty much my entire adult life. But I didn't respond to the stalking for a pretty long time. So like, and the reason why, and I think I talked about this in another recording, it was because I wasn't 100% sure the stalking was real. And you got to remember that it takes a person a long time to accept that this is actually happening. So before, I wasn't sure. I mean, this is a serious situation. This is some serious shit for a person to accept. I mean, you got to remember that even if you suspect that this is something that's actually happening, most people wouldn't believe it. So, I mean, I wasn't going to I didn't really adapt to this up until, I adapted to it. I accepted. So basically, I accepted that this was happening maybe about a decade ago. That was when I accepted it. So before that, I mean, I might have noticed a couple of really weird things. Like, I noticed weird things, but I wasn't really responding to, the stalkers or whatever. So for all I know, the stalking could have been happening my entire life. So like, if you were curious about when it started, I'd have to say that my entire adult life, I'd say pretty much definitely my entire adult life, I didn't really accept that it was happening until not that long ago. So I'd say my entire adult life. Now the gang stalkers, they just come out. They're not really hiding. Before they came out of the closet, they were hiding. And they were hiding. Like, they didn't want me to know that they were doing what they were doing. Like, they weren't like putting it in my face. But I think they were there. They were there for a very long time. Now they just own it. Before, they weren't owning it. They owning it. I think the reason why they're owning it is because I forced them out of the closet. I pushed in order to get them out of the closet because they were fucking my life up. I mean, big time. They were fucking my life up. And they fucked my life up badly to the point where I just was like, I'm going to have to start kicking some ass now. And it got to the point where I was just like, fuck them, and it would declare war against them. And that's when they just came out of the closet. Because they were fucking my life up. Like, fucking it up. So, like, before, I accepted the stalking was real, I just noticed that everything was going to shit. And, and then the people that were supposed to have my back were trying to make it seem like it was my fault that everything was going to shit. And they were pointing fingers at me. And I was like, dude, something is up. Something is fucking going on. And that's why everything is going to shit. Like, they were fucking my life up, and they were making it seem like it was me making bad choices or some shit. And the fact is, dude, these people, I knew they were fucking with me. I knew I was being fucked with. And like I said, it was kind of like, well, you're not sure at the very beginning, you're not sure, so you're not going to really make a move. So I wasn't really making a whole lot of moves, but my life was going to shit. Like, it was going to shit. And I was just like, wait a minute here. What the fuck is going on? So to be honest, I don't know exactly when. Definitely for the last decade. Definitely. If longer than the decade, really. But definitely for the last decade. But in reality, it was probably way longer than that. So to answer your question, it could have been literally my entire life. For what I could tell, the gang stalkers were basically trying to hold me back in the very beginning. Like when I was in school, I kind of feel like they were stalking me even in school. And I think it was just like they were holding me back. They didn't want me to live a good life. Is the takeaway from the operation. Like if you're a targeted person, it was like as soon as you were born, people were trying to stop you from having a good life. And that's it. Now, I mean, the question is, why the fuck would they want to do that? But obviously, if you take a look at the videos, you know that that's what they want to do. You know that now, but before, it was like they were trying to make it seem like it was my fault that it was happening. Like I was just like, okay, I must be making the wrong moves or some shit. And it was like everything was kind of just set up against me. I don't know. I can't really explain it. So, you know, right now they just come out of the closet. So we could just say that the stalkers are out of the closet now. Like, you know, how it is when you know, like when you tell your parents you're gay or something. They're out of the closet. So they're not really bullshitting me anymore. But they used to bullshit me a lot. So, for what I could tell, it was just like they wanted to control my life. They wanted to control me. And I think they've always been that way. You know, even when I was in school, I think they were stalking me even when I was in school. Really, I think they've been stalking me my entire life. I mean, I really do. I don't know why. Well, actually, I do know why. I mean, I have to tell you guys that there is... I am 100% convinced there is something serious going on in my life. Like, from all the evidence would suggest that we're dealing with some sort of spiritual war. This is between God and, you know, that God is involved in all this stuff. And you guys already know my feelings on that. But that's all I could really tell you. So that's it. Also, I'm not really going to be posting videos anymore, because I'm pretty convinced that I'm dealing with something that has to do with God. And since it has to do with, you know, good and evil, God and the devil or something. So since I'm dealing with some sort of spiritual war, you know, like I'm dealing with a spiritual battle, a battle between good and evil, God and Satan. This channel seems like it's just pointless. And, you know, it just seems like it's pointless. Like, you know, I don't know. It's not going to, this channel, in a war, if in a war between God and the devil, a YouTube channel is meaningless, I think is the point. Like, I'm not going to win a war by posting videos on YouTube. This is between God and Satan. And it's beyond YouTube and all this other stuff. So that's why I haven't really been like aggressively posting videos anymore. So I think that I'm just going to go silent for a little while. And I don't know, I might upload maybe once every 2 weeks or something, you know, something like that. But I'm not going to like aggressively upload videos. I have to figure things out. And I've been sort of just trying to look at things from a more spiritual perspective. Like if God is involved and we're talking about God and Satan, if we're dealing with that, this takes a lot of, self-reflection and stuff. Like I'm gonna, you know, I just have to be mindful of my actions. So having a YouTube channel makes it easy for me to make mistakes. And if we're dealing with God and Satan, we're either dealing with God and Satan or some sort of military experiment. I don't know, the military's involved in some shit. I mean, it has to be either or. Like there's no, like every other theory, I pretty much dismissed every other theory except for either God or the devil or top secret government shit. So, you know, either way, I'm not going to get any answers through YouTube. So I wanted to answer your question, that one question, and I'm probably just going to chill for a little while. And yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know what my intentions are. And so hopefully that clears that up. And until I decide to post another video, peace everybody.